Please be aware that due to the nature of the technology that I'm using, there can be no assurance of confidentiality when using this online service. It should also be noted that due to changes in policies, all replies are to be used as advisory and informational only and will not constitute an official determination. Information provided by myself are limited to the current and available material, but the final responsibility for successfully achieving a goal rests with you, the client. Information online is designed to be helpful. However, this information changes frequently, and it is recommended that you, the individual, will consult another physician, another specialist, and or religious leader to aid you in your overall behavioral wellness. Please be aware that due to the nature of the technology that I'm using...
I'm so sorry about that. Welcome to Counsel of the Day with Shanrae, and I am Shanrae. We are on week 3, part 2 of the Love series. This week is loving your family and your friends. Last night, I talked about, I highlighted how we can love our family. And again, how we didn't choose our family. A lot of us didn't choose our family, but how we can love our family. We even discussed how setting boundaries with your family is a form of loving your family as well. So tonight, good evening, Peaches. Hi, how you doing? So tonight, we're going to talk about how to love your friends, or how to improve your friendship with this love series. And again, this is the Love Month and the month of Black History. And so, I didn't get a chance to get into Black history a lot this month, but y'all know that I am very, very, I'm proud of my culture, very proud of our culture, and I stand strong on how we as ethnic people, how we are to improve ourselves, what we contribute to society and to the world. And again, I'm just going to leave it right there. So let me move this along. I am a degree counselor and I acquired my dual degree, psychology and organizational management from Ashford University. My great passion is bringing healing to people who have been through traumatic or stressful experiences. And we know that human beings who a lot of times when we experience stress or trauma, it seems like our life is unraveling. So my great passion is to help clients such as children, couples, families, and individuals to find healthy perceptions of themselves and to strengthen their relationships so they can know themselves as peaceful, as complete, and whole and safe. All right, so I got this out of the way. Let's move this along. I'm a Christian counselor. So the scripture for this month has come from 1 Peter chapter 4, verse 8. And it says, and it's the NIV version, and it says, above all, love each other deeply, because love does cover a multitude of sins. All right, so the definition of love, I chose 3 of them, and let me close this back up. All right, so I chose 3 of them, and number 1 is an intense feeling of deep affection. Number 2 is a great interest and pleasure in something, which is a noun. The other one is to feel a deep romantic or sexual attachment to someone, and that is a verb. All right, so let's jump in because this 30 minutes is going to go and come very quickly. Let me open up really quickly the key points. All right, and so the key points tonight are number 1, personal love between friends. Number 2, the benefits of friendship. Number 3, how to make friendship last. Number 4, finding time for your friends. Number 5, is how to talk and listen to your friends. And that Peaches talked about that a lot. She doing this month. She was like, listening is important when it comes to proper communication. So we're going to put a hit on that tonight. Number 6 is how to argue with your friends. Number 7 is to practice acceptance. Number 8 is how to resolve conflict with your friends. And of course, we have our takeaway and our quote. All right, so let's start this because I have a lot to cover in a very short amount of time. I'm going to open this very briefly. So we're going to start out with personal love between friends. And it says that friendship and feeling at ease when you're witnessing each other. And this is by Polly Young. And she's a PhD, Living with Love. Okay, so what Miss Young was talking about. Oh, let me look at this. I'm sorry. This is an open platform, guys. So if you have any questions, feel free to ask them. I will pause and I will highlight the questions that you ask. If you want to share any life scenarios, I will pause and highlight that as well. All right, so let's move back on into this. And I'm moving fast because, again, this time is 30 minutes go by quickly. So Polly Young was talking about how best friends is a term that seems to have been invented in the 20th centuries. And a lot of us say, oh, that's my best friend. And the new saying now is, that's my best friend. They just don't know it. They just don't know it. In my mind, that's my best friend. So that's the new saying right now. All right. So perhaps even in the second half of that century, Miss Young was saying that her parents never used the term best friend, but her friends and her, they did. So Miss Young, her description of good friends is, she says, true love with a best friend usually means that you feel at ease in witnessing each other or when you're with each other. In most cases, that ease seems to come from a sense of deep similarity. So most people tremendously enjoy finding another person who says, oh, me too, in a relations to beliefs, tastes, styles, and opinions. So the same feelings is one of naturally being mirrored and is one of the strongest motivators for falling, she says, falling in love and finding yourself in someone else's eyes. And she's talking about friendship, falling in love with a friend. So this happens in non-romantic situations, such as much or more than it does in romantic connections. And Miss Young was saying that often with friendship, the original ease comes from idolizing each other. I don't like to say idolizing. What I like to say is just having a fondness for each other. And feeling so completely seen and held and understood that it seems almost impossible that the other person even exists. So how can this be? This person seems to be your twin. And this is what Miss Young this is how she describes having a love for a friend. And this is not a sexual type of love. It's just a deep, strong love for friends. Now, I have a few different sister friends. I call them my sister friends, and they know who they are. And we are very similar. We're very, very similar. And we get along. So a lot of us, we have the same, we're kind-hearted. We like to hang out. We like to, we're family oriented. That's a main thing with me, with friends. We're all family oriented. We just so much to talk about. We all have a deep love for God, and then the list goes on and on and on. All right, so I'm blessed to have a few good sister friends in my life, and I tell you, and we are there for each other through good, bad, and different ups and downs. We're there. We're there to hold each other up, and so I really cherish that with my sister friends. So now let's move to the benefits of friendship. All right. The benefits of friendship. And this is by Miss, the rest of this is by the PhD, Miss Tara Parker Pope. So Miss Tara, Dr. Tara. And she says that family relationships often come with a dose of guilt and obligation. And unfortunately, a lot of people do think that way about family. You feel guilty and obligation, you feel obligated. But friends, on the other hand, are the antidote to the burdens of your daily life. And I agree to that. Having a good, strong friend, a sister friend, it is the antidote, you know. And so, how to make friendships last. And this is, again, Miss Tara, the PhD Dr. Tara, talking about friendship. How can we make our friendships last? Let me move this on so y'all can see this. How can we make our friendships last? All right. So friends have a bigger impact on our psychological well-being than family relationships do. And this is a proven study. So why is it that we often put family and work demands ahead of our friends? Now, I'm going to pause. I can talk for me. A lot of reasons why we put our family and everything before our friends is because they are our blood. They're our blood relatives. But this is the question that Dr. Tara was asking. All right. So why do friendships fade? This is the next thing she asked. Sometimes it happens because our own lives are changing and entering new phases, which that is a good reason, you know. The friends that we surrounded ourselves when we were children, serve a different purpose than the friends that we seek out now when we're adults. And so our needs begin to change again as we marry or we partner up. And then when we have children and when we have an empty nest, um, that's when our needs change again for friendships. And it is important. Let me tell you, because no man is an island. It is important to have a friend. You don't have to have a whole lot of them, but it is important to have a friend in your life. Okay, and because again, no man is an island, and we're going to talk about why it is important. Us as social beings, it is imperative that we have a friend that we can talk to, we can hang out with, we can go and have lunch with, have coffee with. It's okay. So let's go on. So Dr. Tara says, she said, studies show that the nature of friendships also can change over just a short period of time. She was saying that in 2000, Dutch scientists interviewed 1,007 people about the relationships that they had with their neighbors, and many of whom discussed job stress and personal relationships and often visited or helped each other with odd jobs. But when the researchers followed up 7 years later, about half of these relationships, they faded. The friendships with their neighbors. So while we need to remember that friendships undergo a natural churn as our lives change, some friendships end simply because we have neglected them. We've neglected them. Okay, so of course, great friendships can often weather these highs and these lows. But imagine how much better those connections would be if we gave our friendships the regular care and feeding that they need. Okay, so these are some suggestions that Dr. Tara is saying. So let's look at okay, well, we need to remember friendship. Okay, all right. So active versus passive friendship. And let me open this up so you can see this. Oh, I think I moved too fast. I'm glad I did open this, y'all. Okay, active versus passive friends. So, given that we all have limited time and energy, because when we're adults, our time is limited. Especially if we have if we're caregivers, if we're married, we have partners, if we have jobs, and our time is limited. All right, but it helps to prioritize a few important friendships that we want to nurture. But we also don't want to miss out on our new friendships that might form from casual encounters. All right. So how do we decide? Let's start by thinking of our friends in terms of active relationships or passive connections. Both are important to our overall happiness. You got your ride or die, and then you have your that's my buddy, like that. But both of these are important. Passive friends take less time and attention, and they give you more time to prioritize the friends that mean the most to you. Now, I'm a social being. A lot of y'all, those of y'all know me, I'm very sociable. So we just got a new puppy, our little Cashmere. He turned 14 weeks on Sunday, so we got a new fur baby. He is a baby. And so when we were out shopping for him, getting things together for him so he can have a good start in our home, we wound up signing him up for puppy classes and 12-week puppy classes, which he will be starting this coming Sunday. And while we were there, Cashmere is such an attractive puppy, fur baby. So when we go everywhere we go, people want to talk to him. They want to pet him. They want to do something. I wound up meeting a new acquaintance. She wound up signing up her and her baby for the same class. She was starting. They were going to start her before us because our baby was so young. We still have to catch up with the shots. But she wound up holding off her classes to start with us. And so we wound up exchanging numbers and we texting each other. And I'm getting to know a new acquaintance. So this is what it's talking about: active versus passive friends. I'm going to see how this works out with my new friend Dawn. Is she going to be an active or a passive friend? But either way, it's just been a pleasure talking with her so far. All right. So let's talk about strengthening your weak ties with your active friends. I'm going to say active friends. Okay, strengthening your weak ties. Our casual social networks are larger than we think. We often have fleeting connections with our neighbors, the barista at the coffee shop, that's me, okay, or fellow exercisers at the gym. So the sociologist, Dr. Mark Gran Ovetter, calls these low stakes relationships. Okay, or he calls them weak ties. All right, but the name is slightly misleading. All right. So while the ties are not strong, the benefits of these relationships can be great. Okay, they provide networking opportunities. They make us feel more connected to other social groups. And a 2014 study found out that the more weak ties that a person has, the happier that he or she feel. So maintaining this network of acquaintances also contributes to one's sense of belonging to a community that researchers have found. Now, I love to meet people. So whenever we go on a vacation, I love meeting and talking with new people. This is what the doctor may be talking about, the weak ties. But I tell you what, social media helps me stay connected to the people that I have met while I was on vacation, and it is very beneficial. I enjoy catching up with my new friends or my new acquaintances that I've met on a vacation. So this I know for a fact that it does help. It makes you feel better when you have even what they call weak ties. Okay, so the good news is that it doesn't take too much effort to cultivate these low stakes relationships. Often it's just exchanging pleasantries. When you see another, maybe at a dog park, it says he gives the advice to put your phone down and make eye contact when you're talking to people, and that is important. Okay, or seeking them out for connection on social media, like I was just saying. Now, let's move this along. The next step, or the next strategy is nurture your active friendships. So, in contrast to our passive friends, our active friendships are those friends with whom we share similar values and deeper connections. Okay, so the people for whom that you go out to your way to schedule lunch maybe with, or to show up for, to learn from, or to make new memories with. This is Dr. Akbari. He talks about, make nurturing your active friends. I grew up in church with three siblings, one boy, one man, and two women. And so down through the years, we kind of fell out of contact, and then we found each other again. We fell out of contact, we found each other again. And so this year, I wound up, especially because my old social media page, that's Facebook page, my Shanrae Price page was hacked and taken over. I've been trying to connect with my with different people. So I went looking for my friend April. Went looking for her, and I didn't know she was looking for me. So I was looking for her on different social media pages or places. She wound up finding me on LinkedIn. We wound up connecting, wound up getting back with them again, talking with them, and we're scheduling to spend time together to see each other. Now, she lives here in Georgia, and her siblings live upstate New York. But we're going to come together at some point this year, and we're going to spend time together. And this is nurturing. That's an example of nurturing your active friendships. They're more like sisters and brothers to me. And so this is, to be intentional with your active friends. So if you're not sure what makes the cut, Dr. Akbari was saying, he's suggesting a few simple questions to ask yourself. If you feel like, should I, take out the time? Here we go. It says, who do I learn from? Can you learn from these friends? Do they challenge you? Can I confide in them? Do they bring me joy? Do I bring them joy? These are some questions that Dr. Akbari was saying that you can ask yourself before you say yes and no with nurturing your active friendships. And Dr. Akbari was saying that he wants people to spend time to reflect back to something that is admirable or aspirational, not financial, okay, but on a human level. All right. So the bottom line is that by identifying our passive or weak ties and our active or strong ties, we can do a better job of cultivating budding friendships and allocating most of our friendship energy and time to maintaining our established throughout this whole session here. No man is an island. You don't have to have a lot of friends, but everybody should have a friend. A friend. We are social beings. We were not created to just be isolated. Okay. So let's move this on. Finding time for your friends. That's the next one. Finding time for your friends. All right. So, and again, this is going back to Dr. Tara. She often we when we think about of living a balanced life, we focus on two things: work and family, and we do. But a truly balanced life really has 5 key components. It should also include: 1, our romantic lives; number 2, self-care, including exercise and hobbies; number 3, our friends. And then while we may not always give all 5 areas equal time, when did I say 5 and 3? And they only talked about the 3. But while we may not always give all 5 areas equal time, a new baby or work deadline can sometimes shift our life balances. Like I said, I have a new fur baby, so that's very time consuming. But I'm still taking out time for my people, my friends. Okay, so in general, work, family, love, self-care, and friends are all equally important. The good news is that friends tend to be less demanding of our time than family members and bosses. So tending to our friendships can take up a lot less time than other demands. But here are some tricks for giving your friendship more time and attention. Number 1, it says schedule friend dates. Let's schedule some friend dates. Just as you might schedule a date night or a business meeting, it's important to build friendship maintenance into your weekly schedule. Friend dates can be squeezed in around a morning coffee or lunch. You know. Did I just lose that? Lord, I just okay. So they don't take time away from your children, romantic partners, or your work deadlines. And if your home life will allow it, give yourself a friends night out once or twice a month. Now, sometimes that twice a month is hard, but if you can schedule a one-time meeting up with your girls or your friends, do it. If your home life will allow it. So when life gets hectic because of parenting or work demands, your friendships tend to be the first to suffer. We do know that. So, but if you schedule friend dates regularly, your friendships will stay strong no matter what challenges are ahead. Now, we are in the age where everything. I'm sorry. Hey, Kim, how you doing? Kim said, "Hey, I thank God for Zoom, FaceTime, Zoom, StreamYard. I thank God for all of these, because if you physically cannot be there with your friends, yeah, that's one way. They didn't add it here, but I'm adding. Schedule your Zoom hangout. Schedule 30 minutes, 60 minutes where y'all sit there in your own home drinking coffee. Some people drink a glass of wine, catching up that way. There are many ways to schedule your friendship time with your girls. And then it gives you that individuality, you know, because we're women. A lot of times we're this and that to everybody, but we still have to pause and take time for us. And you're nurturing your friends, or adding a new friend in your life, that's just for you. It does something for you. So don't be afraid to do that. Okay. Again, I'm a sociable person, so I don't mind meeting people. I remember an old co-worker of mine when I was working at a school some years ago. We found out she heard me talking about Vietnamese food. And so she said, "I love Vietnamese food." I said, "Really?" So we wound up on our off day meeting up, going to eat at my favorite Vietnamese restaurant, and we started making that a tradition. What happened, and we would do it like once every other month. I would go to her favorite Vietnamese restaurant, and then she would come to mine, and we would sit there, and that's how we would catch up. But what slowed that down was COVID. So we have to restart this all over again. Okay, now number 2 says a few minutes of friendship goes a long way. A few minutes of friendship goes a long way. Let me open this up because I might be behind. A few minutes of friendship goes a long way. All right, let's close that. So, the author, Dr. Tara, said that she never forgot an exchange with her friend Julie Mason, now which is the host of Sirius radio program, The Press Pool. Now that's impressionable. So she said when they were both new reporters at the Houston Chronicle, she stopped by her desk with a few questions and noticed that she was on a deadline. And she said, that's okay. Turning around to show that she had her full attention. She always got 5 minutes for a friend, is what she said. She remembered that the importance of the body language, turning to give the full attention, putting down the phone at work when she sees them. And while it's true that some friends are more high maintenance than others, okay, in general, our friends are more understanding and less demanding than most people in our lives. Okay, so do not avoid friends because you cannot give them hours of your attention, like I was saying earlier. It takes only a few minutes of listening and care to make a connection and to reinforce the bonds of friendship. 5 minutes, a 5-minute text, a 5-minute call. Just tell a friend that you're thinking about them. That helps. It really does. Now, consistency matters more than frequency. Consistency matters more than frequency. So creating a tradition, even if it's infrequent, is one of the best ways to sustain a friendship when life gets busy. All right. I'm going to pause here. My sister Peaches is on here. We do not live in the same state. My cousin Kim is on here. There's other people that are on here that's watching. I don't see your name pop up at this time, but I do see the numbers that people are watching. And I'm on different channels, so I'm on Twitter and stuff. But those people that know me personally, one thing they know, consistency matters. We may not be in the same states, but I make sure that I send an inspirational Sunday text to my family and my friends, my loved ones. And that's just letting them know that I'm thinking about them and I love them. I may not be right there with them, but they can tell you. I try to be consistent, and I don't want to say everybody has very, very, very busy lives, but I do try to make sure that I'm consistently sending out. Sunday, I do it on Sunday text. And those of y'all that follow me on social media, I also address you all on Sundays. I do pictures so y'all can see, we're all in well over here. For my family, they know why I do the pictures. That's how they know that we're okay. And then also to greet even my social media associates, to let y'all know that we're okay and that we're thinking about you. We always want to say happy Sunday. So consistency does matter. Okay. Let's move on. Exercising with a friend. Exercising with a friend. Scheduling exercises with a friend is a great way to stay connected. And it has added bonus of boosting your physical well-being. So it can be a weekly walk or twice weekly run. Whatever works to get the two of you or a few more of you all in the same space with time to talk. Now, this is something I practice. Used to do it more regularly before COVID. Meet up with a couple of my friend girls, Greta, my sister friend Latanya, my sister friend Angie. We would meet up at our favorite park and go walking. We go walking. We walking. Now I bike ride. Now I ride my bike, and we be talking about what's concerning us to encourage each other. But this exercising with friends, it is highly beneficial. Hey, Candace, how you doing? Tell your mama I missed her this month. It's so good to see you, Candace. All right. Now, another one is to take a class. Take a class with a friend. So we have limited time for both of our hobbies and our friends. So why not nurture both needs at the same time and bring a friend in on the fun? So if you signed up for an art class or a cake decorating or cooking class or a painting class, something like that, invite your friends to join you. And if you get a similar invitation, just say yeah. Even if it's a new hobby that you have not tried, That's a way to stay connected with your friends, or to cultivate a new friendship. Now, let's move on to this: how to talk and listen to your friends. How to talk and listen to your friends. Okay, I think I'm moving too fast right there. How to talk and listen to your friends. All right, good listening skills matter in all relationships. Tonight we just talked about friendship. All right, but how you talk and listen to your friends can make the difference between a casual connection and a lasting friendship. All right, so what Dr. Tara is saying, she started out by saying, really listen. Peaches, hi, can Candace say using Candace's phone? Oh, hi, Helen. I'm so glad to see you tonight. Hey, Helen. Okay, so Dr. Elizabeth Scott, a family therapist and author of the new book, 8 Keys to Stress Management, notes that there are 5 basic steps to improving your listening skills with a friend who's in need. Number 1, she says, listen to the answers. Often when people say, how are you? They don't really listen to the answer. Maintain eye contact with your friend. Stay present and show them that you're interested in what they have to say. All right. So number 1 is listen to the answers. Number 2 is repeat what you hear. Okay. So Dr. Scott says, makes notes that when we summarize and repeat thoughts back to somebody, they know that we're really hearing them, not just listening, but hearing. Like Peaches said, I be looking for my greeting on Sunday. My sister said she be looking for her greeting on Sunday. Yes, ma'am. You're gonna be getting them too. Yes, ma'am. So repeat what you hear. Okay, so it looks like things are getting pretty hostile and you sound like you're feeling hurt. Are 2 examples of things that you might say when your friend is sharing about a difficult conflict that they're experiencing. And I like those things. Okay, the saying to them in response, it looks like things are getting pretty hostile. Or number 2, you sound like you're feeling hurt, or you sound like you've really been hurt. Okay, and that shows not only that you're listening and hearing, but that you care. Number 3 says, what are you feeling? Okay, so if you don't know what to say, ask your friend what they're feeling rather than discussing the details of the situation, writes Dr. Scott. Now, week one on this, it talked about the Indian proverb where it's 1 and 2 situations. Number 1 is the situation that you went through. It is real. That's reality. That's something that you experienced. But number 2, they said don't talk about when you talk about it over and over again what you went through. How it opens the wound back up. Peaches said, monitor the tone of the conversation. Yes, ma'am. Peaches is absolutely right. You have to monitor the tone of the conversation. You really do. Or if you have an understanding of a person, when a person's voice raises, that you understand that they're passionate about what they're saying. But you're right. Depends on, what you can tolerate as well. Monitoring the tone of the conversation is imperative. All right. So when you asking what you're feeling, if you're asking them what they're feeling, I was back on the Indian proverb. The Indian proverb number 2 says to focus on what you're feeling, how it made you feel, rather than what happened. Okay, because when you keep talking about what happened, it opens the wounds up. But more so, concentrate on how you felt at the time. And so, asking a person, "What are you feeling?" When you don't know what to say, rather than discussing the details of the situation, it helps them, describe what they're feeling rather than focusing on what actually happened, what hurt them, the situation that hurt them. Number 4 says keep the focus on them. Keep the focus on them. So I'm a teacher and I'm a counselor. So a lot of times when I'm sitting and talking with people, I will give them an example because that's what we're taught to do as teachers and counselors. But I still always go right back to how person is feeling. Are you okay? What are you doing? Are you resting? Blah, 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 depending on the conversation. So keep the focus on them. While it's fine to say you can relate or share a few details about your own experience, don't shift the focus of the conversation to your situation and your feelings. Just keep it on that. Just move it so I can relate. This happened to me, but keep it and move it on back. Number 5 says to brainstorm. Rather than jumping in with advice, guide your friend in a brainstorming session to find some solutions. For example, you can ask, well, what do you want to do about this? Or how does that make you feel? Or do you see any other options? These are wonderful, wonderful ways, like you said, to brainstorm, to help a person maybe move past the situation that's affecting them negatively. Or with that, ask them again these 3 questions. The 3 questions are, what do you want to do about this? Number 2, how does that make you feel? And number 3, do you see any other options? All right, so let's move on to revealing yourselves to your friend. Okay. Revealing yourselves at the core of every friendship is the concept of disclosure, which occurs when one person reveals something personal to somebody else. Self-disclosure is the building block of intimacy and usually leads to the other person revealing something personal about themselves as well. So if you feel like a friendship lacks a true connection, ask yourself how much you've revealed to your friend and how much he or she has revealed back to you. Okay? So revealing yourself. Let's move on to how to argue the right way with your friends. How to argue with your friends. Conflict is an unavoidable part of human experience. But while we know that spats with a spouse or family member can be smoothed over, a fight with a friend can feel more risky. So friendships are relationships of choice, okay? Friendships are, again, they're relationships of choice. And the ties are more easily undone than those formed with relatives or romantic partners. So we expect our friends to be supportive and understanding, even when we are not perfect. Okay, so we be careful. Something Peaches just said: monitor your tone, monitor how you don't be throwing daggers at people, because you don't want somebody to throw daggers at you, throw stuff back up in your face. But it's a way to have a responsible, I'm going to say a responsible argument. All right, so the next one says to practice acceptance. All right, friends are not perfect. I'm not perfect. You're not perfect. No one is perfect. But sometimes people will disappoint you. I'm going to say a lot of times people will disappoint you. But them boundaries, when you let them know when someone disappoints you, it's important then to implement certain boundaries. If we're going to remain friends, this can never happen again. I have to be able to trust you, just like you can trust me. All right. So those boundaries show that you do care. You still care about the person that you're trying to have a friendship with. All right. So practice acceptance. We are not perfect. Sometimes they'll disappoint you, or I said most of the time, but sometimes people will neglect you. But sometimes being a good friend means giving your friend a pass and accepting their flaws. Again, I'm a type of person, I look at stuff, had the glass halfway full. I strongly believe that all kinds of negative flaws and toxic behavior can be shifted into a positive and make it and you can grow and learn and become integrous, a person of good character. Okay, because I'm speaking for me, and I'm quite sure a lot of you all feel the same way. I can't be around somebody that I cannot trust. Like Maya Angelou, what is that old saying? When someone shows you who they are, believe them. But I do try to give room for people to learn from their past poor choices and then to grow. But if a person seems to just be just content, I don't care. This is me. I'm not going to change. Then that's a whole different conversation. And that's when things will shift with me. Because like I said last night, my love language is, it's not what you say, it's what you show me. That's my love language. If you show me something positive, I believe you. If you show me something negative, I'm gonna believe that. I'm gonna believe. And so I like my Andrew say, you show me, you show me who you are when what you do. I believe that. All right, so we did practice acceptance. Let's move on to, and we're almost, we're finished after this. How to resolve conflict with your friends. How can we resolve the conflict with our friends? Helen said, everyone cannot speak at the same time. Yes. I love that. Oh my gosh. Have you ever seen that? Have you ever seen that where everybody's just talking at one time? Blah, 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 blah. That's kind of a I don't want to say argument, but a heated conversation. And and it goes back to what Peaches said. You got to listen. Somebody got to stop and listen. It has to be reciprocal. You speak, I listen. I speak, you listen. You speak, I listen. I speak, you listen. It has to be, but you not only listen, got to hear. So you're absolutely right, Helen. Everybody cannot be talking at the same time. So nothing will ever be resolved. Okay, so that's a great resolution to conflict right there. Like I said, I speak, you listen. You speak, I listen, like that. So sometimes our differences with our friends are too great to overcome through practicing acceptance. Again, so instead, we need to find a way to resolve the conflict if the person is important enough in your life. Nobody likes conflict, but relationship researchers say every conflict presents an opportunity to improve a relationship. And I agree with that wholeheartedly. So the key is to learn to fight constructively in a way that leaves you feeling better about your friends, not worse. I was discussing with a sister friend earlier about somebody mutual that we know, and that we've actually known in the past. And I just laughed and chuckled because they brought up a scenario, and I said, "Yeah, unfortunately, that person made it very difficult for us to like them. They made it very difficult. They make and so." You don't want to be around. I'm sorry. Helen said you can't get an understanding. She's right. All of the bubble together, then it's hard to understand what's really happening and what's going on. With all of that, it's really hard to understand that. So you're right. Again, it goes back to you speak, I listen. I speak, you listen. It has to go back and forth like that. I'm using my hands because it'll give you a visual, but it's true. Okay. Let me see what else. So in order to understand what a person is feeling, where they're coming from, it has to be changed. I saw someone put on social media that true repentance is not just saying I'm sorry, but it's changing the behavior. That's true repentance, changing the behavior. What I was talking about earlier, when people show you who they are, you believe them. But when they show you a change, believe them as well. And not only that one time change, but they have to continue to do or live in that change in order if people want to be believed that they are a person of good character and integrity. All right. So all right, so I'm trying to see anything else in conflict. Learn to attack the problem, not the person. That's Peaches said. When it comes to conflict, learn how to attack the problem, not the person. Exactly. And the person when you're talking to when you're actually speaking to the person, it's up to that person. It's up to that person to even understand what you're saying, because again, perception is everything. So even if you're pointing out the problem, as Peaches said, if that person is not willing to change what's causing the problems or to change that behavior, then there's something. Again, that's when you have to sit there and say to yourself, it's time for a change altogether. This person is not going to be a priority in my world or in my life anymore. If they are offended by you, even and she said attack, but it's not attacking you. What you're doing is you're pointing out the behavior, the negative behavior, and expressing that there needs to be a change. And I mean a permanent change, not just a change, one-time change. If we're gonna, the old saying, if you want to be with me, You know what? No, but if you want to be friends with me, if you want me as your friend, if you're going to be my friend, then there has to be those boundaries. Once again, you got to have you have to have integrity. You have to have good character. Now, there's some people that like drama. They got to be around people that's just like them. They want people that's just like them. And all right, well, okay. Peaches said agree. She agrees. So again, how to resolve conflict. I love what Peaches said. Don't attack the person, but attack the problem. I love what Helen said. Helen says, in order to get a good understanding, everybody cannot be talking at the same time. Somebody got to talk and the other person has to listen. Then that person talks and that one listens. So those are some great strategies and tools for to resolving conflict amongst friends and amongst anyone that's attached to you. All right, so our takeaway for tonight, because we have definitely run over. Our takeaway for tonight, it says a true friend gives support without judgment, comes through in a crisis and knows just the right thing to say when it matters most. A true friend gives support without judgment, comes through in a crisis and knows just the right thing to say when it most matters. Friendships are an essential ingredient in I'm sorry, did I move that too fast? Oh, that was I'm sorry. So the takeaway is a true friend gives support without judgment, comes through in a crisis, and knows just the right thing to say when it matters most. Now, let me go back. Judgment and pointing up a friend, helping them to move in the right direction are two different things. If you see a friend of yours, I can give an example. Years ago, I had a associate that asked me to say that they were with me a certain night, because that's what they was going to tell their partner. And I said, and I put them boundaries right there. Don't ever, ever, ever ask me to do that again. I will not cover if we were not together, then I will not lie for you, and I will not lie to your partner. I don't know. I didn't need to know which the person was, but you're not going to involve me in something that's clearly negative. I'm not going to cover for you, and I will not lie to your partner. We are still friends to this day, but those boundaries had to be set in place. I love you dearly. Hope and pray that things work out for everybody. But again, I love you enough to say, no, I'm not going to go along with this negative thing. And no, but I'm still here. As you. And so that's what I mean by that. A true friend gives support. They say without judgment. I didn't judge. I still don't judge because nobody knows the full situation. I'm still not judging. And I still love my friend. But I'm not going to. One thing I won't do is cover up in a negative for somebody, So that's what I wanted to add with that. Let's move on to our quote for this evening. Okay, our quote for tonight says, friendships are an essential ingredient in a happy life. And so it's time to give them the care and attention that they deserve. And that's I'm sorry, that was a part of the takeaway. I got so many papers here. But our quote for tonight says, truly great friends are hard to find, difficult to leave, and impossible to forget. And that's by G. Randolph. Truly great friends are hard to find, difficult to leave, and impossible to forget. And that's by G. Randolph. All right, so let's move this along. Let me open this up for my fellow theorists and counselors. This is where I got my studies from for tonight. And okay, so if there is a past Counsel Today with Shanrae series that you've missed or just want to rewatch, you can go to my YouTube channel at Shanrae Price. Please subscribe and select any past series that you would like to watch. Ring the bell so you can get your announcements. Also, I am a professional one-on-one counselor. If you're interested in professional one-on-one counseling services, feel free to contact me via my Facebook messenger at Shanrae Owens. I'm using my married name because my Shanrae Price page has been hacked and taken over by criminals. All right. Or you can email me at shanrae.price@gmail.com. I'm a lifestyle strategist, and my aim is to aid you in your life's goals and your life's dreams. Also, I would like to thank you all for participating tonight. Guys, this month has gone by quick, so fast. So next week, next Sunday and Monday is our final. That's our final. That's week 4 for our love series. And we're going to be talking about romantic love on Sunday and Monday. So tune in 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Y'all have a wonderful week and good night, everybody. Thank you again for participating. Thank you, Peaches. Thank you, everybody. Thank you so much. Thank you, Helen. Thank you, Kim. Thank you, CJ. Thank you, whoever else is on. Thank y'all. Have a good night. Bye-bye.